Retinoids are one of those skincare categories that I talk about all the time because after sunscreen and moisturizer, these are probably one of the most useful ingredients that you can add to your routine. They can help with collagen support, fine lines, skin texture, pigmentation, acne, clogged pores, and overall skin quality. And unlike a lot of trending ingredients online, retinoids actually have decades of evidence behind them. So in this video, I want to walk through 5 of my favorite retinoid products on the market right now. I'm going to explain what each product is, why I like them, what makes the ingredient list unique, who I think these are best for, the packaging, the price point, and when you should actually consider using it. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Dr. Danny Guo. I'm a cosmetic and surgical dermatologist, and on this channel, I talk about skincare, skin health, and dermatic treatments without the hype. So let's start with one that has gone TikTok viral, but for all the wrong reasons. And despite that, yes, it is still one of my favorite retinoids on the market. This is the Cellmax Retinol Shot Tightening Booster. I'm sure you have seen a lot of videos of people using an absurd amount of this all over their face on TikTok. And let's be clear, if you are a veteran retinoid user, music, and you slowly work your way to that, then maybe your skin can tolerate it. But for most people, using it like that is a waste of money in the best case scenario and a great way to irritate your skin in the worst case scenario. So the way this product has music went viral is not exactly how I would recommend using it. But putting that aside, I actually really like the formula. The main active ingredient in this product is retinol, also called retinaldehyde. For those of you who are new to retinoids, the simplified pathway goes like this. Retinol palmitate is one of the mildest forms. It gets converted into retinol with an O, which is probably the most common over-the-counter form. Retinol then gets converted into retinol or retinaldehyde, and retinol eventually gets converted into the active form, which is retinoic acid or tinoin. In general, the farther along you are in that conversion pathway, the stronger the retinoid effect can be, but the higher the risk of irritation. So retinol is actually a fairly strong molecule in the over-the-counter world. But this particular product is formulated in a way that is actually pretty gentle. I've even tried this product around my lower eyelid area, and my skin tolerated just fine. Obviously, that does not mean that everyone should put this on their eyelids, but as someone with pretty sensitive skin, I was kind of impressed by how tolerable it felt. The formula also has Matriel 3000, which is a peptide blend. It includes peptides like pomel tripeptide 1 and palm tetrapeptide 7, and is one of the better-known peptide combinations in skincare for supporting the look of wrinkles, texture, and overall skin quality. It also has panthenol music for skin soothing and barrier support, and vitamin C for antioxidant. But one of the things that make this particular product stand out, music, is actually the microspicule technology. Microspicules are basically tiny needle-like structures derived from sea sponges. Music. They're not needles in the same way that microneedling is needles, but they can help improve music penetration of active ingredients. This category was made popular by brands like BT Cosmetics and their RLES shot products. So with Select Music, you're getting the retinol, the peptides, vitamin C, panthenol, and microspicules all in one product. That is a lot for one small tube. I think this is a great product for someone who already has a basic music skincare routine, has used some type of retinoid before, and now wants something that's a little bit more interesting and has a bit more of a punch. This is not a product I would usually choose as the very first retinoid for someone who is completely new and scared of irritation. But if you're already using a basic retinol and you want to level up your routine, this is a really good option. I also like it for people who want a combination of products, right? Instead of buying a separate retinoid, peptide serum, antioxidant serum, and something for your skin texture, music. You have multiple active categories all in one product for skin quality, fine lines, texture, and even mild pigmentation support. I think honestly that makes a ton of sense. Okay, so now let's talk about the packaging. This comes in a small squeeze tube with a very fine nozzle tip. I like that because it gives you good control over exactly how much you're using. You can use it as a spot application if you want to apply to specific areas, but you can also squeeze it out in a pea-size amount onto your hand and apply it more generally. For products that require more precise application like this, I really like this type of packaging. Price-wise, this is usually around $21 USD. depending on where you get it from, for a 15cc tube. Of the 5 products I'm talking about today, that actually puts it right in the middle in terms of price per unit. Concerning the ingredient list, I think the price point is pretty darn good. The biggest downside, I would say, is not really the product itself. The downside is that if you search on social media, a lot of the usage videos are completely unhinged. So yes, I like the product, and no, I do not like the way people are using it online. Like all other retinoids, start slowly, use a small amount, moisturize, and don't copy someone online who's using half a tube in one sitting. The next product is the Dermatologist Classic. This is the CeraVe Skin Renewing Cream Serum. I like this product for a lot of reasons, but the main reason is that it is a very classic of CeraVe. No nonsense, no crazy marketing, no overcomplicated ingredient story. It uses encapsulated retinol. And this is a retinol with an O, not a retinol with an A. Retinol is generally milder than retinaldehyde already. And in this product, it is also encapsulated, meaning that it is designed for slower release, music, for many people that can make it much more tolerable. It also has ingredients that are very typical of CeraVe. It has niacinamide, which can help with barrier support, oil control, redness, and pigmentation. It also has ceramides, right? CeraVe Music, which are important for skin barrier, and also has hyaluronic acid, which is an HTANT that can help hold water in the skin and improve hydration. Nothing crazy, but that is a solid list of ingredients for a very barrier-forward product. Music. It is also fragrance-free, which I appreciate, especially when we're talking about retinoids. This is a very basic formulation, but basic does not mean bad. In fact, if you are just starting retinoids, basic is often exactly what you want. Of all the products I'm talking about today, this is probably the one that I would recommend the most to people as a first music retinoid. It is straightforward, affordable, barrier supportive, and generally very well tolerated. I have talked to people who have tried this product and they were able to use it without any major issues. The packaging is also very good. It comes in this airless pump, which helps reduce oxidation and keep the product protected. For retinoids, that is huge because retinoids can get easily oxidized when exposed to air. Price-wise, this is also the most affordable product on the list today. You can usually get a 30C container like this for about $20 USD. For a serum, especially a retinoid serum, bringing the unit cost under $1 per cc is a very strong price point. If I had to name one downside, it's that this product is basic, but that is also its strength. If you are a skincare beginner, basic is good. If you're already deep into the skincare and you want something with multiple active categories like peptides, antioxidants, and pigment activives and all of that, then this may feel a little bit too simple for you. Personally, I really like the combination of products because they can save time and money. Music. You don't need to buy 5 different serums to get 5 different categories of ingredients, but for someone that's just starting out, I think CeraVe is one of the safest and most practical places to begin. The third product I want to talk about is also making the rounds online, and that is the number 99 NAD+ Retinol Volume Tox Eye Cream. This product actually has a very interesting formulation. There are parts of it I like and parts of it that I think are a bit of a hyped-driven process, but obviously it made my list. So let me explain. Right in the box and in the name, you can see the 3 big marketing points: NAD+, retinol, and 50 peptides. Let's start with NAD+. NAD+ stands for nicotinamide adenine nucleotide. Music. It is a molecule involved in cellular energy metabolism, DNA repair pathways, and other cellular processes. It's become popular because of the whole longevity and anti-aging conversation online right now. And to be clear, NAD biology is real. This is not a fake molecule. It does real things inside the body. But just because something is interesting for cell biology does not automatically mean that putting it on top of the skin is going to give you the same kind of benefit. The skin has a barrier. That is literally one of its main jobs. Music. An ND+ is a relatively large and hydrophilic molecule, which means that penetrating through the skin barrier is not necessarily straightforward. And the funny thing is, we actually already have an ingredient in skincare that is related to this pathway and has a much better topical application history. music. That ingredient is niacinamide. Niacinamide is a form of vitamin B3 that can support NAD+ production in cells. So from a skincare perspective, I think NAD+ is a bit of a trendy ingredient right now. I don't think the topical evidence is strong enough to say that you need NAD+ in your skincare over something like niacinamide. Now let's talk about the 50+ peptides. 50 peptides sounds insane, right? Most skincare products that include peptides have maybe 3 to 5 different peptides. So when you see the number 50, the natural reaction is to think that, oh my God, it must be 10 times better than all those other products. But that's not how peptides work. Peptide is a very broad term. It basically just means a chain of amino acids or a fragment of a protein. Some peptides have decent evidence in skincare. A lot of peptides don't. So just because a product contains 50 different peptides does not mean that all 50 are doing something useful for your skin. Within this formula, though, there are some peptides that I do like. It contains matricyl peptides, matricyl 3-chiasyl type peptides, copper peptides, also called GHKCU and arginine. Those are some of the more recognizable peptides in skincare that have actually some decent music evidence behind them. Matricyl and matricyl 3000 are more in the collagen support and skin quality category. GHQCU, as you probably heard all over social media by now, has interesting data around wound healing and skin remodeling. Arginine is often marketed as Botox in a bottle, which I kind of think is a little bit of an overstatement, but it can have some benefits for fine lines on the skin by mimicking botulinum toxin and inactivating some of the superficial muscles. So I would not say that the 50 peptide claim itself is the music's strongest part of the product, but the fact that it contains some of these better-known peptides help justify why I like it. It also contains neoinamide and ceramides, music which I like for barrier support. So overall, the formula is a mix of hype and genuinely useful ingredients. And that same idea shows up in the packaging as well. It comes in this syringe-shaped applicator. When you first get it, you gotta unlock it, and then you can take the cap off, and then you can dispense the product almost like you're injecting something. Look, it's actually the shape of a syringe. Now, obviously, this is not sharp. It does not actually inject anything, and it doesn't even go through the skin. The syringe design is music definitely there to make it feel more clinical, right? That's the hype part. But functionally, the applicator is actually pretty nice to use. It gives you a very fine application, and because it is marketed as an eye product, this kind of precision is very useful when you're trying to apply directly to the eyelid. Or maybe that's me. I inject people all the time. So this motion actually feels really natural. I don't know. You can tell me what you think. So who should use this? I think if you're looking for an eye retinol and you struggle with fine lines, crepey texture, or dehydration around the eyes, this is a great option. It's well tolerated and has a lot of the right supporting ingredients, music, for that area. You can also use it, of course, for the rest of your face if you want. There's nothing about it that makes it only for the eye area. Price-wise, you can usually get a Music 10C container, which is how much this contains, for around $15 USD. That makes it slightly more expensive per cc than the Cellax product, but they are in a similar range. So do I think NAD+ is the reason to buy this? Not really. Do I think the 50 peptides automatically means it's better? No. But do I think the overall product is actually well formulated, interesting, music tolerable, and good for the eye area? Yeah. The fourth product is one that I have talked about many times before, and it is the one that I personally use every single night. This is Alpharet from Skin Better Music Science. The ingredient list for this product is massive, and it's not massive for no reason. It's actually full of ingredients that make a ton of sense. But the most important part, of course, is the retinoid. The hero active in Alpharet is a unique retinoid complex called ethyl-lactyl retinoid. It combines a retinoid with lactic acid. There's a study that compared this product to tininoin or retinol in a split face analysis, meaning one side of the face used music alpha and the other side used either tininoin or retinol. After 12 weeks, the Alpharet side showed benefits that were similar to the retinoid music side, but the tolerability was much better, and that is the main thing that actually makes this product stand out. As you would expect, tininoin had more irritation and retinoid dermatitis. Alpharet had much better tolerability, and in the study it also performed so well on the skin that it increased skin hydration measurements after 12 weeks. And the music craziest part was that this product was actually used every single night from the beginning. For most retinoids, that is just not how I recommend starting it. Usually I tell people to start 2 to 3 nights per week and then slowly increase it to 5 to 7 nights per week as tolerated. That is because retinoids can cause dryness, peeling, mucus, burning, and all that good stuff, especially when you rush. I actually have very sensitive skin. With most retinoids, I cannot get past 3 nights a week without some degree of irritation. So when this product launched and they challenged me to use it every single night from the beginning, I was ready to try it and then call them out as it wrecked my skin. That was more than 2 years ago. I have been using it consistently, music almost every night since, unless I'm testing a different retinoid for academic reasons, and I have not gotten a rash from music this at all. So for me personally, the tolerability is real, but the formula goes way beyond just the retinoid. It also has glycolic acid and lactic acid for exfoliation. It's got Matricil 3000, which we have already talked about. For skin brightening, it has niacinamide and vitamin C. For hydration and barrier support, it has hyaluronic acid, ceramides, mucus squalane, cholesterol, linoleic acid, and panthenol. For soothing, it has ingredients like allantoin, babel, and it also has other antioxidants like vitamin, mucus E, CoQ10, and green tea extract. That is a massive list of useful ingredients in one product. This is clearly a very well thought out formula. This is not just a retinoid, it's basically a retinoid exfoliant peptide barrier cream, mucus antioxidant, and soothing product allanone. It also comes in this airless pump that's similar to the CRV product with a little twist cap. I actually really like this type of packaging, and I also really like the design. If I were to say there's one weakness about this product, well, it's going to obviously have to be the price. At 30 cc's, this product is around 140 to 145 USD, depending on where you're buying it from. That is more than 3 times more expensive per cc than the next most expensive product on this list. So yes, I think this is an amazing product, but it's expensive. So who would I recommend this to? Well, first, someone with very sensitive skin who has tried other retinoids properly and still cannot tolerate them. Second, someone who does not want to deal with the whole process of starting 2 to 3 nights per week and then slowly increasing and then backing off if you get some degree of irritation and then restarting again and just constantly playing that tapering game. And unfortunately, that's kind of the reality with a lot of retinoids. You do have to play it by ear. And for some people, that amount of effort is exactly why they stop using the retinoids altogether. Third, someone who wants a very complete all-in-one night treatment and the price does not bother them. If budget is a concern, this is not a product that I would recommend that you buy. But if tolerability is your biggest issue, and if you want a very elegant combination formula, this music is one of the best retinoids that I have ever tried. The final product I want to talk about is designed more specifically for pigmentation. This is the Dr. Retinol Advanced Retino Mela Serum. Like Alpha-Ret, this also uses a more unique retinoid. The retinoid here is hydroxypyl retinoate, also known as HPR. HPR is a gentler retinoid option, and there is some evidence suggesting that it can be effective with lower irritation potential. I would not say the evidence is as robust as we have seen for Retinoid, and I would not even say that it is as strong as the one that we saw in the Alpha-Ret split-face study. But having tried this product myself, I do think that it does feel gentler than many of the traditional retinols that I have used. The best part about this formula, though, is not just the retinoid. It is actually the ingredients around it. The other 4 products I talked about today all have supporting ingredients for hydration, barrier, skin quality, or peptides, but none of them actually focused heavily on pigmentation, or at least not as much as this one. This product contains tranexamic acid, which is one of my all-time favorite pigment actives. If you've seen Music Me on social media, I have covered tranexamic acid before, but in simple terms, it is a very useful ingredient for pigment conditions like melasma. It is not a classic tyroinesis inhibitor in the way that hydroquinone, KIC acid, isolaic acid, or alpha-arbutin are. It works more upstream by reducing the inflammatory and vascular signals that can stimulate melanocytes. Music. So what stands out to me is that you have a retinoid which can already help with pigmentation, texture, and collagen support combined with tranexamic acid, which is much more specifically pigment-oriented. Music. If pigmentation is one of your main concerns, this becomes a very logical 2-in-1 product. It also has niacinamide, of course, which also helps with pigmentation barrier support and skin tone. And it also has Babel, which is great for soothing. Once again, I love products like this because they can save you time and money. Instead of using a retinoid and a separate pigment serum, you may be able to get both categories, music, in just this one product. Like Alpharet and CeraVe, it also comes in this airless pump, which I like. Price-wise, it's also very reasonable for a 30cc bottle. This is around $36 USD, which makes it one of the more affordable products in the lineup today. I've been trying to keep this video a little bit more balanced by naming at least one drawback for every single product, but for this one, I honestly don't have a major complaint. It's affordable, it's gentle, it combines a retinoid with pigmentation-focused ingredients, and the packaging makes sense. So I like it. I would recommend this product for someone who wants a retinoid but also struggles with pigmentation, melasma, uneven skin tone, or post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So to summarize, if you are brand new to retinoids and want something simple, affordable, and well-tolerated, I would look at the CeraVe Renewing Cream Serum. If you want something more active, trendy, multi-unctional with retinol, peptides, vitamin C, and microspicules, I like the Celax Retinol Shot. If you're looking specifically for an eye retinol with peptides and good tolerability, the number 9 NAD+ Retinol Eye Cream is a solid option, even if I think some of the marketing is a bit overhyped. And if you have very sensitive skin and want a premium all-in-one formula and the price does not bother you, Alpha Red is still one of my personal favorites. And if pigmentation is your main concern, the Dr. Rejuol Advanced Retinol Mela Serum is probably the most targeted option on this list. Just keep in mind that there is no single product that is for everyone. The best product depends on your skin type, your tolerance, your goals, your budget, and how complicated you want your routine to be. No matter which one you choose, start slowly. Use a pea-size amount, moisturize, use sunscreen daily every single morning, and do not judge the product after just 3 days because retinoids take time. So, thank you guys for watching. And if you found this music video useful and helpful, please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below telling me which retinoid you are using right now or which one you want me to review next. Music. Thanks, guys. Music.